In the interests of the prosperity of the country, a king should be diligent in foreseeing the possibility of calamities. Try to avert them before they arise. Overcome those which happen. Remove all obstructions to economic activity and prevent loss of revenue to the state. Kautilya, 4th century BCE. Over centuries, man has learned to live in harmony with nature. This acceptance of nature's benevolence, as well as fury, manifests itself in art, mythologies, and stories of ruin and reconstruction. With population growth, urbanization, and environmental degradation, natural hazards have started becoming disasters. The Asia-Pacific region is one of the most disaster-prone in the world. It has 60% of the world's population, but 88% of the world's disaster-affected people live here. The Indian Ocean tsunami, Myanmar's cyclone Nargis, Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, and several major earthquakes are a reminder of the region's vulnerability. India too has been affected by major disasters. The Odisha supercyclone in 1999, the Gujarat earthquake in 2001, and the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami forced a rethink in the way the country manages disasters. Drawing on the experience of the successful management of the 2001 earthquake by the Gujarat government, India enacted the Disaster Management Act of 2005. This laid down a roadmap for how disaster should be mitigated. The National Disaster Management Authority was set up, followed by the creation of similar bodies at the state and district levels. Specialized institutions were created for research, training, and capacity building on all aspects of disaster risk management. These efforts cover the entire spectrum, from the managerial to the operational level. The country has leveraged science and technology for managing disaster risk. India's investment in satellite and radar technologies, weather observation systems, use of supercomputers for weather and climate prediction has strengthened the early warning systems across the region, especially in the Indian Ocean Rim countries. The focus shifted from disaster management to disaster risk management. The new approach involves prevention and mitigation, preparedness and early warning before disasters, swift response during disasters, and sustainable recovery after disasters. Years of efforts of leading early warning institutions have led to improved lead time and accuracy of early warning. Ensuring last-mile connectivity is the key to success of early warning. Mock exercises are organized regularly to empower millions residing in high-risk areas. Strengthening the capacities of fire and rescue services is a key to preparedness. In 2006, a National Disaster Response Force was set up. Similar forces are being formed at the state and local levels. In 2011, India launched one of the largest national cyclone risk mitigation programs covering its entire coastline. The program includes construction of multi-purpose cyclone shelters, establishment of village-level committees for management of these shelters, construction of access roads and saline embankments, and strengthening of early warning systems. Vulnerable structures, particularly schools and hospitals, have been retrofitted in disaster-prone regions. Various national sector programs of the government are geared towards mainstreaming disaster risk reduction. Housing for all, making disaster-resilient houses. Smart Cities Program, making cities resilient to disasters. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, a cornerstone of people's financial resilience. The mission is clear: minimize losses by reducing the risk of disasters, and prepare communities for when disasters do happen. Post-disaster reconstruction and recovery presents an opportunity to improve standards of safety while rebuilding lives, livelihoods, and infrastructure. The owner-driven approach adopted by the government of Gujarat led to safer and better housing conditions in a short time span. These efforts helped lay the foundation for sustainable economic development. Its stellar industrial growth speaks for itself. India's multi-pronged efforts have begun to show tangible results. The loss of lives in recent high-intensity cyclones, Phylline and Hudud, was contained to 23 and 46, as compared to over 10,000 lives lost in 1999 in a similar cyclone. In June 2016, the Prime Minister launched the National Disaster Management Plan, which promotes a holistic approach encompassing all levels of government, civil society, and the private sector.
It is a textbook, perfect example of aligning a strategy at a national level with global commitments as a show of global leadership as well as regional leadership.
In the spirit of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, or the world is one family, India responds to international disasters as promptly as possible. Soon after the Nepal earthquake of 2015, India promptly offered all help and assistance. The NDRF and Indian Armed Forces worked alongside their Nepalese counterparts in the rescue and relief work. India hosted the first South Asian annual disaster management exercise for disaster managers from SAARC countries in 2015. It also organized the second BRICS conference on disaster management in 2016. Disaster risk reduction is a work in progress. Greater cooperation and capacity building, along with information and knowledge sharing, will go a long way in making Asia safer, stronger, and resilient. Everything is interconnected. Everything affects everything else. Everything, that is, because other things are. Arya Nagarjuna, 2nd century BCE.